Hello, let's learn together how to create a EC2 instance.
So I'm clicking on launch instance. Let's name it as demo 1. Here you can select what is the machine image that you want. So I'm going with Amazon Linux free tier, going with x86. The second thing that you need to select is the instance type. So there are different instance type available. They have different capacities. I'm going with the T2 micro. You can select as per your requirement. Now, as I showed you on the previous page, I don't have any resources created. So you need a key pair to connect to your instance. So let's create a key pair. Let's name it as key pair. The other one is for footy. So I've created the key pair. Is downloaded on my machine. The next section is about network settings. So you click the VPC that you want to launch your instance into. So I don't have anything created as I showed you on previous page. I have zero resources available. I don't have even the default VPC available. So I am going to select create a new security group and SSH traffic. I'm going to say allow it from my IP. So here you are defining the rules. Uh, you can configure it later on as well by going to the security groups. But for now, I'm saying allow traffic from my machine uh, for SSH. You can next is configuring storage. Uh, yeah, or let's say you can select going back to network settings. You can select uh, this one VPC. So over here you don't have any VPC available, so that is what you need to create. So I'm also saying auto assign public IP so that you will be able to reach out to the EC2 instance. It would have a public IP. So let's navigate. I will create another tab where we will create a VPC. So here are we on VPC dashboard. As you can see, there isn't a VPC is available. So I'm creating a new VPC and more. So I would like to create the subnets as well. If I select VPC, to just create a VPC. So VPC is your area in AWS. Just to give a very brief description. But I would like to go with VPC and subnets. So what you can see over here. So let's create that and name tag auto generation IP, the CIDR block, starting IP for your VPC group. Number of availability zones, let me keep it as 1. Number of public subnets. This is where you might deploy your services, and private subnets. Typically, you would deploy your databases, etc. Whether you want net gateway, for now I will keep it as default none, and VPC endpoints I would also keep it as none. So enable DNS host name and DNS resolution, add new tag, name my VPC is the tag that I'm using, create VPC. So it is creating a VPC now for me. If I go back and refresh, yes, I have the VPC available. No subnets found. So let's go back and create a subnet. Now subnet is like you can, if you are not aware about subnets, you can think of it as a sub VPC. So you can divide a VPC into multiple region, and one of that region is subnet. So let me name it as my subnet 01 availability zone. I would again select the one that I'm in. Uh, so I'm selecting subnet with 256 IPs, clicking on create subnet. Now let me go back and refresh this. My subnet is selected. Going back to storage, keeping it as default. I can add a new volume if required, but I'm not doing that. Advanced details you can select. There are other things that you can do, whether I am instance profile, domain join directory, and so on. But yeah, for first I would say leave those as default. Number of instances you can, I'm selecting 2 over here just for this session. So it is saying whether you want to scale, consider EC2 auto scaling, which is like, I'm not I mean, we'll see this as other time at some other time, but for now focus on creating a EC2 instance. So let's launch the instance. You can go back to the EC2 dashboard, and if you refresh it, you'll see there are instances running are 0 because they are still coming up. Here you would be able to see the status of your instance.